What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts from the Real Fan Review. Today with me, we got our man in the chair, Al.
How's it going, everybody?
We got my boy, your boy, Sanj.
Good evening, everybody. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you.
We got my little brother, B.
Heyo.
Hi-yo, sir. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 5, Truth. And if we have enough time, we'll talk about some of the movies that we've seen to give you some recommendations out there. But we've been known to talk a long time about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Not much other news. No big real movies came out this past weekend. It was just like 3 independent movies. But this weekend, fellas, actually, you know what? First question. This weekend, we got Without Remorse featuring our guy, Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
He's playing
Is it this
Tom
weekend
Clancy.
or
Yeah,
April 30th?
I heard it was coming out this weekend, unless they moved it because Mortal Kombat moved to this week.
Oh, maybe.
It's possible. For some reason I have it down that they're both coming out this weekend, and we have also Mortal Kombat. Al, which one are you checking out?
Both. Yeah,
Both,
no,
yeah.
I mean, definitely Mortal Kombat. You have to watch that one, but that Michael B. Jordan movie was looking pretty good.
Yeah, man. How about you, Sanj? Man, you watching both or just maybe one out of the two?
Oh, I'm definitely catching both too, because of course my wife is gonna want to watch the one with Michael B. Jordan. So
Yeah. and if you guys don't know, that one's on Amazon. So if you have Amazon Prime, it's free to you. Or if you just have the Amazon app, just make sure you check it out on Amazon there. Brandon, how about you, man? Michael B. Jordan, Without Remorse. So we're doing that Mortal Kombat.
I'm checking both out. Obviously, Thursday when Mortal Kombat comes out, I'm checking that out first thing the second I get home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put on my Sub-Zero outfit.
I just want to see that scene, like the full scene when Sub-Zero like freezes his arms and breaks them off. Like that's gonna be crazy.
Who freezes Jax's arm?
Yeah.
I just one thing I gotta hear is get over here. I gotta do it
Get
once.
over here.
Okay, at least once.
Oh, y'all don't want to hear Liu Kang go.
That's awesome, man.
If you don't give me one turkey call, I'm gonna be really upset.
Turkey call. Awesome. Bicycle kicks, man. God, I love those bicycle kicks. But let's get right into the big deal of this week, which was that Captain America, soon to be Captain America, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh my God. The episode was called Truth, and brother, it gave truth. Mm-hmm. Oh, it had give you the feels. I like how it was like 10 minutes of fighting in the beginning. I almost cried watching that shit. And then nothing but talking the rest of the time. So still awesome.
Lots of story. Lots of story.
Lot of depth.
So much character development.
Levels to this shit. So let's get right into it, guys. You already know spoilers are coming in on this way because it's a 1-hour show and it's pretty much everything's a spoiler when it comes to Marvel. So here we go. Marvel episode number 5 of Falcon the Winter Soldier. Let's get it going. Al, we get Captain America running from his scene of taking off Nico, one of the terrorists there from the Flag Smashers, and he's running away. And we continue the crazy. We got the crazy going on. He's talking to himself. He's hearing, Battlestar in his head. And he's talking to himself. And he goes, time to go to work. I'm like, what the? Who is he talking to?
I said the same thing.
And sure enough, as he's about to walk away, take off after he had his little mental breakdown, here comes Falcon and Bucky. Mm-hmm. And they tell him, hey, man, you got to give up that shield, man. What's your thoughts about everything there, Al?
Yeah, it just showed that he really, he must have broke because he really didn't think he did anything wrong. When they walk in, he's like, oh, you don't look too good. You need to see a medic. Like he really just thought they were there to powwow and get together for the next step. Like he thought he did nothing wrong. He defended, in order to justify it in his head, he even said that was the guy that killed Battlestar. Meanwhile, it wasn't.
Oh.
So, yeah, it just showed his break with reality even more so. And it wasn't until the shield came up that he realized, oh, wait, you're here for me. and like, and again, it just showed that his priorities were wrong because instead of with everything that just went down, his priority was making sure he held onto the shield.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And Brandon, man, he looks at the sheet. First, he's looking down. He goes, "So this is what this was about. You almost had me. Like, this is about the shield, bro. Like,
And then
really?
Bucky's like, "Yup, let's go."
You guys don't want to do this? Yeah, we do. Yeah. Oh, Brandon, hit me, man. Talk to me about this little fight here, man.
Dude, that was such a badass fight. Like, I think this tops all we've seen so far from like our television eyes version of our Avengers here. You know, even from WandaVision, like this fight was better than what we saw in the first episode from both Bucky and Falcon. You know, like the choreography here was awesome. I love the Marvel Ultimate Alliance type team up that keeps happening every now and then. With well, he held him up so that Falcon could take him out. Like, you know,
They
like
3D'd him, bro. Like they did, like the
that
way
was so
they did
cool.
the Dudley Boys move on him.
And then the ripping of the wings, like, you know, like all this stuff here. It was crazy. That fight was like emotional. It was awesome. It was so cool. Like, and it just from that get go, like, you know, and Bucky's like, yeah, no, this is what we're here for. Like, Bucky walked into this place ready to fight.
Yes.
Like, Bucky was not here to talk to you. Bucky was here to break you for that shield.
And Sanj, man, that fight got real, man. I mean, there was points where I thought that John Walker was actually trying to take somebody out. There was a point where I thought he was gonna try to kill Sam.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he wanted. Like, he had already killed somebody, so you're like, you know what, you're coming for me, and I think he was in a psychotic state. You know, you can't tell me after that, and then having the talking to himself and everything running through his head. He's still in some sort of shock. He's just recently taken the super soldier serum. So remember Carly Morgenthau when he was talking to in the previous episodes, one of the previous episodes when she was talking to her friend about when they took the super soldier serum, how she was saying that we thought, you know, it felt like we were on fire, like our insides were on fire.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what was going to happen. And she said it was like madness. So he's just recently took the serum, you know, so he's still not has not come down off of it, or I mean, he'll still have the strength or whatever, but he's still in that his body's acclimating to having the serum in it. So I don't think he has any self-control. So yeah, I do believe he was trying to kill Bucky and Sam, and since Sam is obviously the easier target because he's not a super soldier, you know, he would have, you know, easily, you know, he was the easier target to go and try to do that too. But yeah, the scene when he ripped the wings, I'm like looking at it was just so intense. Everything that was going on, and then when they finally got the shield off of his arm, you know. But that move when Bucky put him up, you know, and Sam, you know, super kicked him by using his jets too. That scene there, I was like, I was like, oh yeah, like I like, you know, it's
dude.
So
he looked
crazy.
like he was knocked out. He was like,
like he hit him so hard, he knocked himself out. You know, that was so crazy. So I'm
man, crazy.
There was
man.
a lot there.
Go for it, B.
There was a lot there, you know, and I don't know if you're going to Al with this one, but you know, just when Bucky got that shield in his hand, you know, just the way he tossed it on the ground, like, Sam, take two.
Yeah, I was actually going to say.
Again.
First of all, enough respect to Sam. The entire season of this show of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, taking on super soldiers, and he's not a super soldier, and never being scared and taking up the first one to kick, hit, use those jets and everything. But again, to like Brandon was saying, you saw what Bucky did. He just dropped the shield right next to him, basically telling him like, "Don't give it away again." What was your thoughts about the fight and that scene right there?
Now the fight was ridiculous. You know, it was. I mean, they had to balance it out. They had to justify why it was 2 against 1. So you know, they had John Walker being a little bit more, because I would have thought him and Bucky were going to be a little bit more even, but I felt like John Walker, like he needed Sam, otherwise he would have probably eventually lost. The way, you know, especially with the shield.
That's what gave him the edge. That little edge, man.
Yeah, the shield, like I felt like I felt like they gave too much power to the Shield in order to justify why he was able to take both of them out. But yeah, like at the end, that's what I felt like he was saying without saying it, by throwing the Shield next to him, like, here, don't give it away this time.
Look what we had to do.
All this, yeah. So
You should have just kept the Shield, Sam. None of this would have happened, Sam.
I would have been like, you saw we just did that boy's arm right there? Like, I'm going to do it to you, I'm taking it in.
yeah,
Dude,
yo,
they
this show
broke his arm.
this show has gone more than what I thought it was going to be in terms of like graphics and scenes and so forth. So
Yeah, it's
like
been
they're
nuts,
pushing. Yeah, given that it's Disney, they're going a little bit further than I thought they were going to go.
Yeah,
I even like the emotion.
That's why.
I even like the emotion from Sam.
No, I was just joking and saying that they probably have Quentin Tarantino like consulting on it. That's why.
Feels like it. Feels like it, bro.
Yeah.
I like the emotion from Sam when he had the shield in his arm and had to quickly wipe away the blood off of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was big. Yeah. That was crazy, man.
Yeah.
And then, after that scene, we get to them kind of like going to where I guess Sam linked up with Joaquin from the army there.
Yeah.
And they're talking about, he's like, what happened to the wings, bro? He doesn't even answer him. He just goes to the next subject.
Like, yeah, you don't want to know. Like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And he talks to Buck. He goes, where are you going? You going after Zemo? And he doesn't even answer him either. It's like just walks off. So nobody's talking. But I think one of the interesting things, I know Brandon probably speak on it, is that Joaquin does turn into the Falcon in the comics. This could be kind of like a segue of what they're doing here is by giving him the wings while Sam goes back to I believe Louisiana.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's your thoughts, Brandon, on Joaquin getting the wings and everybody's going their own separate ways for now because they can't, it looks like they can't find where the Flag Smashers are. They can't get in contact. They just kind of like went off the radar there.
Yeah.
It seems like, the passing of the torch without saying it kind of a thing. Like, he left the wings there with no clue as to whether he would have wings again. Like those were his only wings, really. So to kind of leave them there as he's walking away with the shield in his arm, it kind of seemed like the passing of the torch because we know that Joaquin Torres becomes the next Falcon in the comics, while Sam takes over the mantle of Captain America. So it just seemed like the unsaying of, hey, those are yours, you take them, you do your thing with them. Like a little Easter egg there. I even liked, they did this in the intro, and I guess I didn't catch it. In the first episode, when Sam visited his sister and the kids open the door, they go, "Oh, Uncle Sam," and I'm just like, oh, it's like, if you take that and you make it about Uncle Sam, just like this is what this whole show's about. Like, it's just like, all right. I was like, that's cool. So it seems like, with all that, and then for Bucky going off to find Zemo, I was very interested to see what that would look like. So that scene there with him, you could see the focus on his face was like, I'm out of here. Like, peace, yo. Like I got some stuff to finish. So I was very interested in that next scene with him.
Absolutely, man. And then Sanj, what we get first thing out of there is we go to looks like a court martial, or either like the military has their own court system outside of our normal judicial. Yeah. So it is court martial there, and he's going with John Walker there. Is going in. He's getting booed and everything, and I think on this one, kind of like the series has made it, right? Like we've all hated the fact that John Walker is wearing the Captain America kind of like, uniform there. It's not the same uniform, but it's, he's supposed to symbolize who Captain America is. He's holding the shield. But the one thing that even though we've hated him, you've kind of felt for him at points. And I just wanted to know, Sanj, in this court hearing here, where you hear him saying, I just want to tell you what happened from my point of view and he's not being heard. Not being, he feels like he's doing his job, still getting kicked out the military, no income, no nothing from there, service taken away, everything. What's your thoughts, man?
Well, I agree with you completely. It's just like you said. Marvel's done a great job with the storytelling to make almost everyone is in the gray area somewhere. Like, there's no one that's clear-cut good, clear-cut bad. Because, I mean, look, we had Captain America and Tony Stark fighting each other at one point. Aren't they the good guys? So who's right, who's wrong? right? Who's the good guy in that fight? Who's the bad guy in that fight? It's all an area of gray. So even John Walker, we know he's a decorated soldier. We know he's a war hero, right? We know he's been in some situations that have been very, very tough where the line gets blurred a little bit. And we know that's kind of why he was chosen to be Captain America, the new Captain America or whatever. But it was so sad because he was maintaining his cool. He was being respectful and trying to say, look, I understand that I did something wrong, but I just want you guys to understand what's going on. And he was trying to, and they were just so rude to him,
Yeah.
And then he had to like lose his temper and lose his cool for them to listen to him. And he told them, I did what you asked me to do. This is what you asked me to do. You guys made me, and I followed orders. All I've ever done is follow orders, and now I'm the bad guy because I followed orders. Yeah, I did feel for him in that moment there.
Yeah, man, it was nuts, man, and Al, it just goes kind of like a lot of things in this episode and also this entire series. It's kind of like playing on stuff that happens in the real world with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of times where the militaries come back from all these wars, even the Afghan war and the stuff that happened there after 9/11, where, we find out after the fact of some of the things that they did that shouldn't have been done, the forms of torture to get information, and they come back as the bad guys. Meanwhile, they're following orders, man. If they don't follow those orders, they're getting kicked out. They're going to jail themselves.
Right.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on all of that in that courthouse?
No, it was basically along those lines. Was what I was thinking. It was exactly what he said. It went back to last episode when him and Battlestar were talking in the bar, and Battlestar commented about the 3 Medal of Honors that he had won, and he says, what we had to do to win those awards, those medals. And then when he said, I've lived my life by your mandates, I am who you've made me. And it just shows that if he hadn't been caught on camera, would he have been going through all this? Because
not at all.
They gave him 3 medals of honors and who knows what he did. So, and like what he said in another scene, he goes, do you really think they're going to care if we do get the job done? So, as long as it don't come to light and you accomplish your goal, which is what they told you to go do, and they don't have to know how you did it, all they get to brag about is that you achieved your goal. So the fact that he got caught on camera is what I think tripped him up. It's sad to say, and they would have praised him for having done whatever he had to do, killing an enemy soldier in combat. Like, they would have given you a lot of spin on the whole situation. But because it was caught how he killed the guy, then they couldn't deny what he did.
Absolutely, man.
And
it was funny. I was kind of hoping they would have been like, you are no longer Captain America. You will revert back to U.S. agent. That's, I guess, 2 on the nose, guys. I guess, 2 on
the nose. But you are now a U.S. agent.
Wink, wink,
wink, wink.
So there, I kind of respected him just walking out while the other, I guess, either generals or the head of the military there.
I think those were senators. Yeah, those were elected officials.
Yeah.
There, they weren't actual, military.
Well, the guy
people.
speaking was senator. The rest around them looked like military.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, he just walked right out of there. He's like, "Oh, the hell with this shit."
Yeah.
And we get him talking to his wife, and on a bench on the side somewhere, and he's just like, I might as well just disappear right now. I'm sure I'm just gonna get off, just get off the radar from everybody and just do my own thing. And we get these like images of Boots walking, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird how they're doing that. So I was like, oh, this must be the character that they're trying to hype up for this week. And B, again, we go to you for like a lot of the comic book lore stuff, unless it's huge that we all know about it. But it's Elaine, man. Elaine Seinfeld is now part of the MCU.
She was looking for soup.
She had 1 toilet paper piece to give out. You
can't spare 1 square.
Yeah, man. Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
What do you think, man?
That was cool because as I was watching the heels, I was thinking we're gonna see a Colby Smulders as Maria Hill, or I was thinking maybe even a Black Widow. Just from the feet, like I'm like, oh, I was like a lady in heels. I'm like, who we got? And when I saw her, I'm like, who the hell are you? And her name, what was it? Contessa Ave
I
Maria.
got it over here, man. Contessa
Valentina
Allegra de la Fontaine.
Oh my gosh, that is an order at an Italian restaurant, that's for sure. But when you get the name, that's Madam Hydra. Well, one of the Madam Hydras, and that's a huge comic book name because she was like a triple agent. Wow. Her character at least. She had joined Shield, was a partner of Nick Fury's, and then turns out she was actually, when they realized that Hydra had infiltrated Shield, she was the one that was also part of that group. So she was Madam Hydra because she took out the first Madam Hydra herself. Then all of a sudden turned out she was a sleeper agent for this other place called Leviathan. Whole bunch of stuff, but she's a big name that is revolving around the word Thunderbolts. So we'll see what it means.
See, now, Sanj, what I was thinking was, I kind of had heard that she was Madam Hydra after the story, because I was like, I don't know who her character is, so I Googled it, and it was Madam Hydra, and I'm like, they're bringing back Hydra again? Like, I can't see them bringing back Hydra after they already had infiltrated Shield, and then they destroyed Shield, destroyed Hydra, quote unquote. Are you interested in seeing Hydra come back, or are you looking into like a new form, a new organization to come in?
Well, I mean, we're still this story here is still centering around super soldiers and what's going on with enhanced human beings. So, I mean, that is right up Hydra's alley.
Right.
So it would make sense to, that if they did bring back Hydra. But yeah, I do feel you a little bit on the point that it's kind of redundant. Hydra's kind of redundant at this point. Like, how many times is it going to go away, and how many times is it going to get killed and resurrected? Or is that the thing, that you can't get rid of Hydra? It's just too
cut one head, two more come on.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. I'm interested to see what happens. I'm okay with it either way. If it's Hydra again, fine. The story just has to be, the story just has to make sense for me.
Gotcha. And Al, man, you and I read a lot of internet feeds and reads about comic book movies and stuff like that. And, we've been hearing all this past 2 years since Endgame. Unbelievable. But, here we are 2 years later, and we kept hearing about how there's supposed to be some supervillain team being built up, whether it's the Dark Avengers or the Thunderbolts or who knows what. But when you hear Madam Hydra, are you still thinking like Thunderbolts, Dark Avengers kind of thing? Because it does seem like this is the first recruit.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually thinking it's going to be Thunderbolts because you've got Bucky already, you've got Zemo, and now you have her recruiting U.S. agent. So I think it is going to be Thunderbolts that they're going to create. Because remember, they sent Zemo to the raft, and we all know who's controlling the raft. So, so that I think it is going to go around Thunderbolts and setting them up for. I don't know if they're getting their own movie, or if they're going to get a show, or if they're just going to be in the background and popping up in different. Yeah. But I think they're going down the Thunderbolt route and not the Dark Avengers.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. And Brandon, man, as I was just saying regarding Zemo there, we get Bucky now in, I think it's Sokovia in front of, well, not Bucky, it's actually Zemo in front of Sokovia, like this one of these statues that resurrected after everything that happened in the Age of Ultron movie there. And Bucky finds him, or knew he was going to be there, most likely because of the whole Sokovia monument that you never visited kind of thing. And I don't know if I didn't really get this part here where he puts the gun up to Zemo and then he just clicks it. like, dude, I'm going to shoot you. But no, I'm not.
Rule number 2 of Bucky's trading: can't harm anybody.
Yeah, too late, Brandon. I don't know if you saw the broken arm.
He's starting over. You get trial and error.
You mess up.
Mulligan.
Start over. All right, back to square one. I think this was Bucky's kind of way of like, because the way Zemo was talking to him was just like, Bucky, like, you know who you are inside. You are still the Winter Soldier no matter what. So I think this was Bucky's way of like, gotcha. Like, like, I think this was Bucky coming to terms himself that he's no longer the Winter Soldier too.
Right, he would have normally killed him. Yeah. And I found it interesting, man. Yeah, they're going to the raft. I was like, oh boy, okay, I see what you're doing here. And like Al said,
like,
we know who's in control of the raft.
Wakanda's got their own like jail. Like, come on, like.
It's gotta be crazy, man. And and while Bucky's doing this, John Walker's doing that. We got our man Sam going back to Baltimore, Sanj. Man, for one of the most realist conversations I think I've seen on TV, brother.
That conversation that they were having really does hit home. I mean, especially given everything that's going on.
Yes.
And, I'm glad that Marvel's doing what they're doing. They're mixing in relevant social events and issues to their story. To make it, along with the the whole superhero aspect of it. So it's something that needed to be done. And they're trying to resolve that character that way.
Aren't you glad they're doing it though, man? Because to me, honest, they could play it safe and not touch it and still have millions of watchers.
Right.
But
I like that they're taking the stand and saying this is the stand that we're taking and this is the side of the narrative that we want to be on. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, man. And it was a very real conversation too, Sanj. I mean, you have Isaiah Bradley's character coming back into the fold. I really hoped he would have come back. I mean, I was pretty sure he was going to come back, but at the same time, when we didn't see him for 2-3 episodes after being introduced to him in the second episode, I was like, they just introduced him for just that little info.
Right. And
but
I'm glad that they
went back to him, man.
Yeah, I'm glad they gave that character more definition, and didn't use him as just a prop to move the story forward or to add a little depth to the story here and there, and then just move on. They are bringing it full circle, and who knows, we may see a little more of him, before it's all over. What do we have? Another one more episode, right?
Last episode finale's on Friday. Yeah. Absolutely, man. And Al, man, that conversation between Isaiah Bradley and Sam is so interesting on so many different levels. Besides what's going on, like in this world today, how relevant it is. Just in regards to the two characters, you have Sam who's starting to feel like, you know what, I should be Captain America. He never said it, but the way that, like Brandon had mentioned before, he hugged that shield and tried to wipe away the blood as quickly as possible because it was,
and there was pain in that too. Like when there was pain on his face. One of the things through this so far, like you're seeing just how great of an actor Anthony Mackie is, because you can everything about, like, he's able to change his body language and everything, facial expressions, and just like get that feeling across to you, because you can at the beginning, you could see he was more timid about taking up that mantle and whatever, and like now you see there's a difference in the way he walks and everything with the shield.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. And Al, what was your thoughts there on the conversation? Because again, you would kind of see Sam kind of wants to or is leading to taking on the mantle of Captain America, but then you have Isaiah Bradley and his story that is so real and it hits home for Sam as well as us, watching this story. And it's like, should he, shouldn't he? And Isaiah Bradley's like, yo, dude, no self-righteous person
no self-respecting black man would take it even if they did give it.
And you feel him on it. But at the same time, I mean, Sam wants to create his own man. So what was your thoughts on all that, man? That was deep stuff.
It put Sam in a difficult situation because they had both, they're both facing similar challenges, but in different ways. Like, obviously, Isaiah's character had been through a tremendous amount, but you also had Sam who, whose best friend, so to speak, the man who chose him to be Captain America, was the same people who Isaiah is telling him would never want him to be Captain America. So to me, I could see it was setting up a conflict in Sam so to speak, that we would see him go through. Like, what do I do? Like like you were saying, like it seemed like he was more and more changing his mind about becoming Captain America and taking the shield and keeping it. And that comment, I felt like maybe made him take a step back and like second guess it and rethink, do I want to do that? Should I do this? So, like you guys were saying, it adds a lot. It forced a conversation that they could have easily avoided and just said, you know what? Yeah, we're just going to make Sam Captain America and not show the challenge that comes with who he is and in terms of how that plays out for him, for people that are going to look up to him and people that see themselves in him and say, how are you going to be that when you know what that represents, when you know what's happening here to us, and now you're just going to be, so to speak, their salesman, so to speak. And, it made you think of a lot of stuff that's going on and say, damn, this is all being put on one person. So what is that one person going through? Like in the head, it's a lot.
Yeah. Layers.
And it was deep. It was deep too when Isaiah Bradley was saying to him, like, and having to watch that man when he was talking about, Steve Rogers,
the Great White Hope.
Yeah, man.
No, having to watch him do everything that he was doing, knowing that he was a super soldier too, and he was as worthy of being Captain America. And then Sam has to fire back, like, Steve Rogers didn't put you in jail. Like you could see the turmoil in Sam. Like he knows how good Steve was, and we know how good Steve was, because even though he was, the poster boy for America, when he didn't agree with the policies and the road that they were going down, he said, no, I don't agree with this. So you can keep calling me Captain America if you want, but I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna agree to it. I'm not gonna follow it. And I'll become a fugitive. So that he's just not. He wasn't just a blind, follower, or just a gun that they could target and then send in any direction. Like, he questioned things.
Yeah, man. I just remember Winter Soldier, him going up against Nick Fury. Even in Avengers, the first one, he went up against Nick Fury with all the guns from the Hydra agents, and then also the what were the big ships called? The ones from the Avengers, man. Shoot, I put y'all on the spot. Well, whatever those big ships were.
Carriers, but they're like
helicarrier.
The helicarrier. Yes.
Those 3 big helicarriers that created that could freaking find people before they became villains. Like, that shit is crazy, dude. So he was against that too. I loved it, man. He tore it down. It down, bro. So what's it called, man? After this, man, this real conversation, Bucky heads home to kind of, like, I guess, let his mind heal, and also, his sister calls him out. Yeah, you don't got to lead on where Carly is. So he's home, and they go to this montage of them fixing the boat, trying to fix their legacy. That boat means a lot to his family and to their family, because it's the sister and him. And you get Bucky coming in to kind of help out, and he drops this little surprise box that we'll talk about later. But I thought it was really good to see them all working together, Bucky, him, the town, to kind of, like, get this boat back up and running, calling favors as they needed back. And I don't know, Brandon, what was your thoughts on this? Because it felt like filler, but at the same time, there was so much accomplished with them just, working together, kind of thing.
It was cool because, if we were to take this in the concept of a movie, in that 2.5 hour time, you have the conflict of the two of them, Bucky and Sam. They're not partners. They have the one thing between them, Captain America, Steve Rogers, who's not there anymore. So they're not partners. They're not really considering each other as friends. So this would be the part in the movie where they become friends, like where they find that middle ground and make friends. And so I really love the scene because I've been waiting for this scene. Like, what's going to bring the two of them to have a common ground? What's going to bring the two of them to realize that they are partners regardless of Steve Rogers, So I like the montage here because Bucky could have just dropped off the suit and left, the box, dropped the box off and left, but he saw that he could help. And
Yeah.
he took the initiative to stick around, and then to see the two of them work out simple things. Like, they're not even talking Avengers stuff. They're talking about boat parts and boat pieces. And the fact that they're just conversing about it, they're still bantering over boat stuff. It was great. That was awesome. Even Bucky
And not
hitting on
flirting with
Sam's
his
sister.
sister.
Even for Bucky to get the
Sam's
crash on
sister was
Sam's
like, "Oh,
couch,
hey."
Hey, I'm Bucky.
You can call me Bartholomew.
Yeah, man.
But I
was,
love that.
it was good stuff, Sanjay, and you could see, like Brandon was saying, them feeling this friendship finally. You know what I mean? Because they just kind of knew each other, were working well together, but they needed to form a friendship. And this is the time that they did that with the boat stuff, and of course it's like the downtime between them finding out what's going on with Carly. But I just wanted to see your take on pretty much like what they were talking about too, because it got to a point where they started talking about what was going on with them, because they started practicing with the shield now. Like they were throwing the ball back in the backyard there, man. They were throwing the shield around.
Right. That's what superheroes do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
We
throw the
we
shield
throw
around
the
and
ball
catch it.
around. They throw the shield around.
And it felt good that it was Sam, someone who has a history of talking to soldiers about their issues and things that are going on in their head and how they feel, to talk to Bucky and kind of tell him what he needed to hear. I mean, that was awesome, man. What you think, Sanj?
That was a great scene, and it happened so naturally too. Like a lot of time, they'll have scenes, in any movie or anything or any show or whatever. These scenes feel very contrived because it just has to happen in that moment, right? So they write it in that way. What needs to happen is said, and everything that or what needs to be said is said, and then everything automatically resolves itself.
Mhm.
This wasn't that. He had to show back up. There's still tension there, but little by little they worked that tension out while they were working on the boat. The boat becomes the metaphor for their relationship, right? Because they're actively fixing something that everyone thinks is beyond repair.
Nice, Sanj.
Right?
Hot take.
And then and then they throw in, there's levity as well, because there's parts where you see Sam struggling with something, and Bucky just walks over and like picks it up like it's a toy, or removes it like it was a toy, and then just like continue. And you see Sam just look up like, really? All right. You could have just done that this whole time. You saw me working over here for like hours, right? You can, whatever. So yeah, you get that little levity, and then the playful, back and forth between Bucky and Sam's sister, and that adds a lot to it. As well. It's almost like, how much Sam's sister means to him. And if she thinks Bucky's okay, well, then Bucky must not be so bad. Right. Even if even if it's more likely that she's just trying to jump him, you know what I'm saying? So.
And Al, man, I mean, you see Bucky, Sam telling Bucky, like, you need to make amends, man. Be of service to the people that you're trying to like cross off this list. And man, the first thing I thought about was that guy from the first episode, man. And I'm like, I'm not ready for this, man.
Yeah. Now, just with that whole scene, it was just amazing because I think they helped each other. Because when Sam was telling them, no one can tell you who you are, like I think that was a realization for himself too. Because going back to what we were saying, like he had a lot that he was dealing with as well. Yeah. So I think he was able to help himself they helped each other by having that conversation. But in terms of like you said, what's the next step for Bucky in terms of after that conversation? Yeah, because he told him, he goes, he said, I'm sure there's somebody on that list that needs closure that only you can provide. And he goes, there's plenty. He goes, there's dozens. He goes, yeah, pick one. And so it's who he's going to pick, and that's going to be a tough conversation because those two became friends. So how do you now go to someone you've become a friend with and say, yeah, I killed your son that you've been tormenting yourself over for the last couple months that we've known each other?
Yeah, God, yeah, man. And and I think something that was real in that conversation also is the fact that Bucky goes to Sam. There's no way me and Steve could have known the levity of giving you that shield as a black man. Just said it.
Yeah.
Just said it.
I was actually just gonna bring that up. There was so much importance there. Like, he was like, when Steve and I were discussing giving you that shield, he was like, we didn't understand the burden that it would weigh on you. Like, like that's such a real thing, especially everything we've seen across the series. And I love that this conversation is being brought up. It's now happening on other outlets too. If anyone's watching a show called This Is Us, like, it's a conversation that's been brought up in that show as well. And I love that it's a conversation because a lot of people don't understand why that conversation can be had and should be had, and for Bucky to accept fault on that position because of the way Bucky had carried through up until this point about this shield. And while this shield meant so much to Bucky in terms of what it meant in relationships to Steve himself and Sam, he didn't understand what that also meant to Sam. And for him to acknowledge that, apologize for it, and take fault for that was huge. And that was a great piece. That scene, I actually teared up for a second when that scene happened there.
Yeah, listen, when that scene happened, the whole like montage of them not training, but like fixing the boat, I gotta tell you, man, the thing that the word I described the episode was beautiful, because that conversation was real. The Isaiah Bradley and Sam conversation was real. The stuff that happened to John Walker was real. It was just, to me, it hit me on so many different levels for so many different types of conversations. It just was like, dude, this is Marvel. This is a comic book movie. This is a comic book show. What are we doing here, man? This is amazing. I don't want like Sanj says. What's the director Sanj that we have beef with?
Martin
Scorsese.
Yeah,
I don't know if we all have beef with him. I might have.
We have beef with him.
I'm not going to.
No, we got beef.
All right. I like that.
Cinema.
No. We all got problems.
Cinema.
Nuts, man.
I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about this though, because they kind of snuck this in there when Bucky says, "When me and Steve, or Steve and I, whatever, proper grammar, spoke about giving you the shield." Right there, right?
When did they do that?
And that changed that scene in Endgame. Because I don't know about y'all, but I thought that Bucky was just as much in the dark about Steve's plans as everybody else. No, you guys.
Oh yeah,
He was too nonchalant that
he knew that Cap wasn't coming back.
Yeah, Bucky's response was as if like,
but it's one thing to say like,
we'll see you in 5 seconds. Sure.
No, like in the back of my mind, like he's probably not coming back with it. But they planned it out. Like you guys thought that they planned that.
I didn't know how deep it was. No.
Okay.
But Bucky knew he wasn't coming back for sure.
It looked like Bucky didn't. Like Bucky knew he wasn't coming back. But to see that there was a plan there, that was crazy.
Right. Now, like, okay, yeah, that to me that changed things a little bit.
Yeah.
Bucky was over here kicking rocks and the Hulk was freaking out. He was like, Sam's like, bring him back, Hulk. Oh,
oh man, yeah, man. And then here we go, man. We have our heroes take their separate ways, but Buck lets them know, if you need me, I'll be there. As soon as they hear word about where Carly and the Flag Smashers are. So that was that for them. And I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, this said it was an hour long. We're only at like the 45-minute mark. So I'm like, where do we go from here? Oh, we got our 1980s workout montage, Al. You are the what? Oh,
you got the touch.
You got
that. You got a power ballad in there.
Al, not just being Captain America, but putting in the work.
Yeah, kid. Yeah, and learning how to catch the shield, even though he already knew how to catch the shield.
That was freaking me out. It was freaking me out when the
shield was
flying, and like, but he's throwing it so that it's rebounding towards the house. I'm like, yo, there's kids back there, like, and you just throwing, like, you can't catch it and you ducking so it doesn't take off your head, and like there might be kids running around back there. Like, come on, you know what? Those scenes gave me so much anxiety.
And then
I think that's the point.
I was laughing that
Someone's getting hit.
he had to put the mats on the trees so that it could bounce. Otherwise, it was getting stuck in the tree.
Yeah.
But then when he went to the dock, it just bounced off the pole for the dock. Like I was like,
He had the right touch.
Just
right.
a little less power.
I'm just gonna ignore the inconsistencies and go
Right.
for the move that they were trying to set.
Put the right spin on it. You put the right. Oh.
57-degree angle.
Inconsistencies. How about this? He wedges the goddamn thing into the middle of a tree, and then he's catching it with his fingers.
Yeah.
I was just so scared. Like, he's gonna take my whole hand.
And the fact that you could tell that they were using a stunt double to do the flips.
Absolutely.
It's like that.
Yeah, if
State
I was
Farm-
Anthony Mackie,
it's
I
like
wouldn't
that
want to be
State Farm
catching none
commercial
either.
where they have like Drake standing in for the other dude. I'm like, yo, come on, like it's not
There
even
was a
close.
difference. There was a clear difference in who was doing the flips and when Sam was doing the flips. It was so bad. I think I saw the guy look back once.
We're good.
He's like-
We're good. Yeah.
It was the one when he was jogging, right? That
Yeah.
was a pretty bad one. Yeah.
Oh man. But I like again, I know what they were trying to do, so I just went with the emotion of the scene and everything. And then I thought they were gonna do it on the left with his nephews.
Oh,
Like
yeah, that
when
would
he came running up to them and he ran. I thought they were gonna show that. That
Nah,
would have
I
been.
think he's saving that for Bucky. I think he's saving that for Bucky in the last episode.
Yeah. But they did hit him with the Uncle
That's it,
Sam, though.
Bunky. Get over here, Bunky, in that right arm.
Oh my God. Just crazy, man. But I did appreciate the little montage there because
Yeah.
you saw him working, jogging, and you could see there was a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks passing by while he was doing all this. So it looked like when we see him next, he's going to be knowing how to use that shield properly and it's going to be amazing at it. So
Yeah.
can't
Gonna
wait to
see that flip.
there.
We're gonna see
Oh.
that flip that he's been working
see
so
that
hard on.
Like,
I
dude,
never
just
seen
catch
Captain
it.
America work hard on flipping. Like, just throw it and run, man. Throw it and run.
Just awesome to see him with the shield like that, man.
Yeah, man.
But then after this scene, we get the I believe it's the Flag Smashers' turn to finally be in the episode here, and we get them in New York because you see the Empire State Building in the background and everything. And actually, before the Flag Smashers,
Oh yeah.
we have Sharon Carter talking to somebody on the phone who's cursing at her in French.
Bad truck, the leak bad.
Yeah.
You
And
are
she
less
said,
incompetent.
Croissant.
What's up with cheese?
Sacre bleu.
Omelette au fromage.
You sacre bleu it. No,
Sacre bleu it.
I went too far.
It's just crazy because I think this leads people back to the thoughts that she's the I was gonna say the shadow
Power
broker,
The power broker.
power broker there. So I mean, I can see why everyone would think it because now it looks like she's setting our team up, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Because why is she's sending Batroc over to New York to help Kylie? Which again, I thought if she's the power broker, why would the power broker say I'm gonna send? I'm going to get you killed for taking the serum and all this stuff like that. But then
Help
she's
them.
sending Batroc over there. So there's something confusing going on. Either there's going to be some kind of like a flip switch on there, or she's just not the power broker. So it's one or the other there. But I still don't understand Sharon's point of view of what she's trying to do. I don't know.
I feel like she's trying to get Sam, to take, his role. I think she's been trying to do all these things to get him to accept it and take that role.
Wow. So you don't think she has anything
Yeah.
to do with the power broker?
I don't think so. I think that
No.
that's what they're alluding to. Like that she's the power broker because she got Batroc out of jail. They said that she was the one who gave Carly Sam's sister's phone number.
Mm.
So I think she's trying to influence Sam to become who he's supposed to be.
Yeah. But also, man, another great scene there, Sanj, is we have Batroc showing back up, man, from the first episode and from the Winter Soldier there, the Captain America movie. And we see Batroc is helping Carly with bombs and with other devices that are in there. And you can see one of the Flag Smashers is like, "Are we criminals now? We're working with criminals now."
And then she's
And
like, we are criminals.
like, bro, you didn't see what we've been doing?
This guy
You know,
knew.
this guy knew. Oh my God.
Y'all onboarded this guy?
And wait. What's worse is besides Brandon, is Batroc was like, I didn't come here for picnic. This is hilarious stuff. You can't. This shit writes itself, bro. Like it's crazy. But what's your take on them, Sanj? I mean, they're going to the next level with this. Looks like they're trying to stop the GRC meeting that's happening in New York. I mean, they're just going to another.
They're radicalizing, right? So
Yeah.
this is a trope that's used a lot of times because you have the rebels, right? There's always the rebel group that on the surface you believe in their cause, but then the trope is to radicalize them throughout the story and then they escalate their tactics because they just get desperate.
Mm-hmm.
To get their point across, and they feel that that's the only way. So this is not new. I'm a little disappointed that they're falling back on such an old trope to make that point, but it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And we see that Joaquin Al is on the case there. He's like, we've noticed all the Flag Smashers, like whenever they're using the internet somewhere or like grouping people up, it's always in this Europe location. But now we just got a blink in New York.
Central Park.
Before he could finish, Sam's like, I got this.
Yeah.
And then we get the scene of the GRC convention there where they're trying to kick out all the refugees and all the people that came into the countries when the people left. Now they're trying to get them all out. And before the vote goes off, alarms would go off. And you see that something's about to happen and go down. Our last scene here now before anything, because we don't see anything after that with the GRC, is Sam is looking at this box from Wakanda that Bucky got as a last gift. Al, superhero underwear or something else?
Yeah, no, what is it? Vibranium? That's what they made in Wakanda.
Yeah,
right?
vibranium suit. Yeah.
Vibranium Falcon suit, new wings and everything.
Now, are you expecting to see like kind of like the comic book version of Captain America suit for Falcon, which is the white with the star and then the blue and then the Falcon wings? Oh,
That's true. I mean, maybe not exact, but yeah, it's true to it as it can be. Yeah, I think it's going to look a lot like that. Yeah. And then,
I was a little upset about the tease though, Al. I was a little upset about that. Show me, just don't put it on them. Show me it though.
Or have them pick it up out of the box. Yeah, I thought they would have done that just to give us a hint of what the suit looked like from the back. But they really just leaving it for the next episode. Yeah. But one of the things I found interesting going back just one scene is with the GRC, like how they made the Flag Smashers seem like the new Hydra. Like the fact that they were like at all levels, they had already gotten into the security. Yeah, they were already the security guards at this place. And then even their little secret sayings, like Hydra used to go, "Hail Hydra," real quiet. They go, "One world, one people." Like, so they just made them Hydra.
Yeah.
So to Sanjay's point, they're using the same stuff, just on new characters.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And then to Sanjay's idea of what to do with any Marvel movie is you sit and you wait, okay? All right. Now, Sanj, I've been sitting and waiting for 4 episodes, and I'm like, all right, they're just gonna probably do one at the last episode. But I don't know what made me just keep fast forwarding. I was like, what is this? And B, how crazy is it? I hear the thing and I'm thinking Iron Man, dude. I'm not thinking Cap. What was your thoughts on John Walker building his suit or his shield there?
I'm interested to see what happens with John Walker in this finale here, because for a second there I forgot that he was gonna be doing something else. Like I thought that the courtroom scene was kind of just it for him for the rest of the show until something else happens. So when he popped up again, I'm like, oh, he might have some story left. Like, all right, like what do you got? And I forget in the comics, like beside his suit, he has his own shield, and it in the comics it's black and red. So it's interesting how he's making almost a carbon copy of the shield he lost, but just out of like regular metal. So we'll see what happens. And it was interesting to see him take his medals and actually embedding them onto the shield too, which I thought was pretty cool. So I'm interested in seeing like a Cap versus Cap fight, you know, like,
Yeah.
like this could be interesting. And I want to see how this plays out and how he plays into the finale, because if we're, you know, we start talking about, you know, with WandaVision, you know, how that last episode, we didn't want the fight to be like 5 minutes. And I'm hoping that this whole GRC thing lasts a little bit longer than 10 minutes. Kind of like the fight at the beginning of this episode, as well, as much as I loved it, you know, like,
Right.
I hope that this last thing doesn't last 10 minutes and then the rest of the episode is, you know, John Walker versus Sam. Like, I want to see, because I agree with you guys on the trope of the GRC thing, you know, and they're taking over of it. I want to see how they play that out. So I'm hoping it's not a quick, like, you know, they interrupt it and they stop it and it's done, and then the rest is on John Walker. So I'm interested to see what kind of role he plays in the finale with Sam, because it's got to be, you know, Cap versus Cap. Like, we have to see it.
Yeah.
It's like our one chance to see it. So
Absolutely, man. And then Sanj, man, with this being the finale coming up this Friday, anything in particular you want to see, need to see, or something you just hope to see?
Well, one thing I hope to see, I hope what do you call it? What's his name? John Walker. I hope to see his shield get smashed by the other shield. Like, he tries to defend himself against like Sam's shield, like the real shield being thrown, and just kind of comes apart like it was gorilla glued together or something like that. That's what I want to see. But I also, but to be but seriously, I want to see him and Sam have a one-on-one fight. Now that Sam has the equipment, but Walker has the super soldier serum. So I don't know if that makes it a fair fight, but having a suit from Wakanda kind of you know, evens the odds a little bit, because I'm thinking the suit, they will basically have given him a Black Panther suit with, you know, Captain America colors, you know, so that he can absorb energy and push it back out, you know, in you know, when he needs to, and things like that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking that the suit will be, you know, and it should have the wings and everything, but just the fact
do we
that
think it's gonna have wings?
I don't know. It might be like nanotech wings, because the box is kind of small.
Right? That's exactly what I'm saying. That box wasn't big enough for it to have
Right.
like
So so that's what I'm saying. Like, it'll have like, you know, some Wakanda nanotech, so that he can use features as he wants to use them, you know, and then so that he can basically always be in the suit. Like Shuri had set up that suit through the necklace for T'Challa, so that he could, you know, become, you know, the Black Panther at any time that he wants.
Absolutely, man.
I'm thinking that's why that they use that plot device of having the suit come from Wakanda.
Yeah, man. And Al, man, how about yourself, man? What you looking forward to in this finale coming up?
What I think is going to happen, or what I really like, I know they're not doing any of the major character cameos, but I really would have liked to have seen Steve, like come at the end, like when everything is done, like literally the last scene is Steve, like maybe coming and saying, "I knew you could do it," or something like that, or "I knew you had it in you," like some kind of like a nod or something like that, and then just have it fade to black or something at that point.
But they keep saying Steve's gone, like,
and that was what I was. Yeah,
that's
what I was just gonna say. Like, are they finally implying that he's dead, or they just keep leaving it open in case they can get what's his name, Chris Evans, to sign back on? Because I thought they did say he agreed to like one or two, like or was it 2 movies? I thought it was like
that's
2
what
appearances.
I heard. Yeah, I heard 2 movies he's appearance on. But you're right, man. They keep insinuating like he's gone, and I'm like, dude, to me, gone means he's dead.
Yeah.
But then
They
again,
don't say that.
he's old, and who knows if he's still fighting? But he's still a super soldier. So I don't know.
Supposedly he's living on the moon.
As rumors
what you doing,
have
moon stuff?
Moon stuff.
He might be out. He might be out there with Fury. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
nuts, man. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a great episode and a great finale. I have complete trust in Marvel and what they're doing, man. Because I'm looking forward to a big fight with, I do, after seeing John Walker at the end of this thing, I know he's coming into play next week. So there's gonna be a big fight with him, Bucky, and Sam again. Maybe part 2. We're gonna have the Flag Smashers. We're gonna find out what's going on with Sharon Carter, and we'll find out who the Power Broker is. I think. Hopefully, we'll know who the Power Broker is. So that's what I'm hoping to see is a definitive answer to the Power Broker thing, because they just kind of left it dangling the entire series. So I'm looking forward to that, man. But man, I thought we were gonna have time to talk about movies we've seen, but of course I should know better. We could talk Marvel all day. So listen, if you're listening out there, man, you, at least you got, whether we're watching Without Remorse and Mortal Kombat this week. So it wasn't just Marvel. But listen, guys, we appreciate you guys listening, and next week we'll do our best to talk about some of the movies we did catch in the last few months here, because there's definitely stuff that I want to recommend to you, like Amend from Netflix, which is a fantastic documentary about the 14th Amendment, and I just think that everyone should watch it. So even if I don't talk about it next week, you just heard me say it now.
What's the name of it? So just tell us the name of it.
It's called Amend. Okay. Amen. It's narrated by Will Smith, and a bunch of actors and activists are on there being interviewed. It's 6 episodes of what the 14th Amendment has done and why it exists, and all the things that are happening to try to change it, because some of the things that they're talking about there. I really think people should watch it. It's very, very impactful. Just something fantastic, man. But that's going to be us for this week. I appreciate you guys listening and watching there on YouTube and on your favorite podcasting apps. You guys can always email us at therealfanreview@gmail.com. Or if you're on YouTube, comment below. Let us know what you thought about the last episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or what you're going to watch this week, whether it's Without Remorse or Mortal Kombat or both. So, guys, coming out of Long Island, New York, we got my man Sanj.
Good evening, everybody, and be safe.
We got our man in the chair, Al.
Have a good night, everybody.
My brother B.
Adios, amigos.
And myself, Hav, as always, thanking you guys for listening, watching. Please comment, subscribe, put the plus symbol on your podcast playlist there for us. And we'll be back next week with more information on the finale and other movie articles and reviews and all that stuff for you guys. So come back, check us out, and we'll be glad that we have you as our fans and subscribers. We'll catch you on the next episode. Until next time.